All right, so I have a question. Are you trying to pick between an OLED TV and a QLED TV? And yeah, I know it's not as simple as it should be, right? You walk into a store and every screen just looks amazing, but all the labels kind of start sounding a little bit like alphabet soup. You got OLED, QLED, Neo this, ULED that. It can all feel a little overwhelming. So it kind of makes sense that people just end up buying the one that, looked good in the store and hoping for the best whenever they get home. But please, before you do that, let me help you. So these two technologies, OLED and QLED, are very different, and depending on where your TV is going, what kind of content you're going to watch, and how much you're going to spend, one of them is going to make a lot more sense than the other. So in this video, we're going to be breaking it all down in plain English, what each tech actually is, what it does, what the trade-offs are, and how to know which one is right for you. Okay, so let's start with OLED. It stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. And here's the key thing to remember here. Each pixel lights up on its own. There is no backlight, and that means a few really cool things. For one, when a part of an image is supposed to be black, it's actually true black because the pixel is just simply turned off. This results in incredible contrast, sharpness, and depth to the image. This also makes it ideal for watching HDR scenes in a really dark room. And because OLED doesn't need like a big lighting layer behind the screen, these TVs are also really thin, and you also get more uniform lighting across the screen. You usually get better viewing angles as well, so if your couch is, like off to the side, you're not sacrificing brightness or color accuracy. The screen won't look any worse when you get to those more, extreme angles. It also means that OLEDs are great for gaming or sports thanks to those fast response times and very little motion blur, if you want that sort of thing. But OLED, as awesome as it is, it's not perfect. Its main limitation for years was always brightness. Older OLEDs just didn't get as bright as QLEDs, which is a real problem for rooms that you had like a lot of natural light. And for a long time, that was one of my biggest issues with TVs. I love rooms with lots of windows and a lot of natural light, and I could never just justify spending the extra money on an expensive OLED simply because I didn't want the screen to look, kind of washed out or dimmed in the daytime due to the reflections. Thankfully, that's gotten a lot better with the newer panels, especially with the W-OLED and QD-OLED models. So traditional OLED is relying on red, green, and blue diodes to produce every color that you see on the screen, including white. And of course, combining each color will give you white, but inherently that will just limit the brightness of that white color on traditional OLEDs. What W-OLED does is it adds a fourth dedicated white diode, and its only job is to produce that white light. That takes a lot of the heavy lifting away from the other diodes and just allows the entire picture to get much brighter overall. QD-OLED has similar advantages, but with slightly different results. You're still getting the overall brighter image like the W-OLED, but you're also getting the benefit of brighter and more vibrant colors as well. QD-OLED uses a combination of a blue OLED filter and quantum dot filter to enhance the overall image that you're seeing. So you're still getting a brighter overall image like the W-OLED, but you're also getting the benefit of brighter and more vibrant colors as well as higher color accuracy. So if you're like me and you love a lot of natural light in a room, then just stick with the W-OLED or QD-OLED. But if you are like my wife and you prefer a house to be as dark as a cave, then the older traditional OLEDs will be just fine, and you also get the added perk of them being less expensive. But I do have a slight warning. If you're going to opt for those older or non-W-OLED or QD-OLED sets, then there is a very slight chance that there could be something called burn-in. If you leave like a static content on screen for like long periods of time, like, I don't know, like a news ticker or maybe like game HUDs, there is a chance that that image could stick around. But on modern OLEDs, it's rare, almost to the point of being non-existent. So things like pixel shifting, screen refresh tools, and brightness limiters all have made this problem almost go away entirely. So unless you're using your TV as like a scoreboard, like maybe 24/7, and it's probably not something that you'll ever have to worry about. All right, so now let's move on to QLED. Despite its similar name, it is a completely different tech. QLED stands for quantum dot LED, and it's basically just a high-end LCD screen with a special layer of quantum dots to enhance the color and the brightness of the image. It does still use a backlight, which means that it can't turn those individual pixels off like an OLED can, but the trade-off is that the backlight allows the TV to get much much brighter. And that is where QLED really shines, literally. It's great for bright rooms and it handles glare a lot better than OLED. QLED sets are known for their great color richness and vibrancy, so scenes aren't just brighter, they really pop. And they also tend to be more affordable with a wider range of options at different price points. So you can find a good QLED set for under $600 pretty easily, or you can go high end if you want more features like 120 Hertz, full array local dimming, better HDR, and overall color fidelity performance. Another nice part about QLED is that it completely avoids burn-in. If you want to watch a lot of content with like a static image or leave your TV on pause, you don't have to worry about permanent image retention for QLEDs. And also sort of a hidden perk, if you're somebody who wants to buy once and not really upgrade for a while, there are even 8K QLED options that won't break your bank. Now, I'm personally a bit of a naysayer on 8K. I don't really think that it's gonna be here for the long haul simply because I don't see any 8K content ever becoming a mainstream thing. But if you're not like me and you're like, hey, JD, 8K is coming, I know it's coming, then let it rip. Grab one of those sweet 8K QLED sets. You'll be happy if 8K comes because you'll be prepared, and I'll be sad because I'll be at home with my dumb 4K set. But QLED does have its trade-offs too. Because it uses a backlight, black levels just won't be as deep or accurate as OLED. On less expensive QLEDs, you'll sometimes see a little light bleed or what's called blooming, especially around bright objects on dark backgrounds. However, the higher priced QLEDs will mitigate this blooming a lot. Normally on QLEDs, viewing angles also take a hit. So sitting too far off to the side, the picture can start to look a little bit washed out. And while a lot of QLEDs will look really great out of the box, just know that some will need a little fine tuning in the picture settings to really bring out their full potential. All right, so after all of this, here's the main takeaways. If you care most about picture quality, especially like black levels, contrast, and just overall cinematic performance, OLED is still the gold standard. It's perfect for dark rooms, home theaters, and games if you want sharp, responsive visuals. Just make sure that you're getting a newer panel type if you want that, extra brightness. But if you are a shopper on a tight budget, placing your TV in a bright room, or you just want something, safe, bright, and vibrant, QLED is probably the better fit for you. It gives you great color, no risk of burn-in, and more size and price flexibility. And honestly, the gap between these two isn't really what it used to be. QLED sets have gotten really, really good. So much so that people won't really notice the difference unless you sort of put a QLED side by side with an OLED, especially if you take the time to dial in the picture settings of that QLED. And listen, at the end of the day, with today's TV tech, most TVs are really, really good. I wouldn't really focus too much on which one is, like best in the traditional sense. I would focus more of which one is best for what you're watching, as well as where you're placing your TV. That's kind of the difference. But hopefully now you have all the information that you need to determine which one is best for you.